And we come now to 0 hour 30 Universal Time. In the news at this hour, United Nations Secretary-General Kofi Annan says he is deeply concerned by the Israeli violation of a Security Council resolution. The resolution ordered an end to hostilities in Lebanon. The UN statement marks the first time officials have identified violations of the resolution. The measure became effective on Monday. Mr. Annan says an Israeli raid in eastern Lebanon endangered the calm in the area and harmed the government of Lebanon. Israeli officials said the military operation was defensive. They said it was meant to stop the flow of weapons to Hezbollah militants from Syria and Iran. In Afghanistan, 4 United States and 2 Afghan soldiers were killed in separate clashes on Saturday, the nation's Independence Day. In one incident, a bomb struck American-led forces in eastern Kunar province. 3 American troops were killed. In another attack, 1 United States soldier and an Afghan soldier were killed in heavy fighting with Taliban guerrillas in Uruzgan province. An Afghan police officer also died in a separate incident in Zabul province. Afghanistan celebrated the 87th anniversary of its freedom from Britain. In Kabul, President Hamid Karzai told a crowd that education is the most important tool to protect independence. Hundreds of thousands of Shiite Muslims are gathering in Baghdad for a major religious observance. Security forces are taking measures to prevent religious violence. On Friday, police banned private vehicles in Baghdad before ceremonies on Sunday. The events mark the death of the 8th century religious leader, Imam Musa Khadim. Media reports say members of a private army loyal to Shiite clergyman Muqtada Sadr has been guarding roads traveled by Shiites into the city. Late on Friday, police say gunmen killed 7 of the Shiite religious travelers in Baghdad. President Bush says United States troops in Iraq are making Americans safer. He said, "Terrorists know the Middle East is at an important point in history." The President said America will defeat terrorism by strengthening the democracies of Lebanon and Iraq. The President spoke on his weekly radio program. Congressional candidate Joe Sestak of Pennsylvania answered for the opposition Democratic Party. Mr. Sestak said the current policy in Iraq is creating a culture of dependence. He said Iraqi leaders must take responsibility, and American troops should begin to withdraw. The head of the Iranian army says his country must be ready for possible attacks by an enemy that he did not name. Iranian state media said Ataullah Salehi spoke on Saturday at the start of a large military operation to test Iran's air defenses. Mr. Salehi said Iran's enemy feels threatened because of the abilities of the Hezbollah group in Lebanon. It was not clear if he was talking about Israel or the United States or both. The air defense tests come as Iran faces possible restrictions for its nuclear program. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Palestinian officials say Israeli soldiers seized Palestinian Deputy Prime Minister Nasser al-Shayr in his home early on Saturday. An Israeli army spokesman said Mr. Shayr was seized because he is a member of Hamas, which they consider a terrorist organization. A Palestinian government spokesman said Israel is attempting to destroy the elected Hamas government. Israel now is holding 4 members of the Hamas-led Palestinian cabinet and almost 30 other Hamas lawmakers. The Israeli army says a Palestinian gunman killed an Israeli soldier during an attack in the West Bank. Media reports say Israeli soldiers fired back at the gunman, killing him. Italian officials are questioning 5 men believed to have organized an attempt to transport more than 100 illegal immigrants into the country. The attempt ended in tragedy when the boat sank off the coast of Sicily on Saturday morning. At least 10 people died and 40 others are still missing. Italian officials rescued about 70 survivors off the coast of the Italian island of Lampedusa. And the African Union says unidentified gunmen have attacked peacekeepers' vehicles in the Darfur area of Sudan. 2 soldiers were killed, at least 3 others were wounded. AU officials say the peacekeepers were attacked on Saturday as they traveled with fuel trucks toward El Fasher in North Darfur. The African Union condemned the attack. The organization has 7,000 troops in Darfur. Javier Solana, foreign policy chief of the European Union, expressed concern about worsening security conditions in the area. And so, briefly now, here again is the major news of this hour. The United Nations Secretary-General says he is deeply concerned by the Israeli violation of a Security Council resolution ordering a ceasefire in Lebanon. 4 United States soldiers and 2 Afghan soldiers were killed in separate clashes in Afghanistan on Saturday, Afghanistan's Independence Day. And in Iraq, hundreds of thousands of Shiite Muslims are gathering in Baghdad for a major religious observance. So ends the news in VOA Special English.